Hello, my little images. Yep, that's what I'm gonna call you now. And I used to be known as Apocryphos, but I changed my name to the Imaginator because I feel like that's what's gonna be the focus of my channel now. I'm just gonna be imagining things. So before we get into the video, I'd like to just say that my microphone is not all that great because I can't afford a nice microphone, so bear with me. So you may have heard Microsoft and Nintendo have recently made close buds. They've been one to started the crossplay propaganda against Sony, and rumors show that maybe Microsoft is offering their Game Pass to Nintendo Switch. All that seems fine and daddy, but what about those two lovebirds went to the next level? I wanted to say in the least disgusting way possible, but I was thinking, what if Nintendo and Microsoft actually collaborated together to make a console of their own? Wait, don't just sleep just yet. Hear me out. I was thinking that due to the success of Microsoft and Nintendo's recent collaboration, maybe that wouldn't be such a bad idea since they're both current systems and they have their ups and downs, and which could be fixed if they were, merged together. Now before I continue, I would like to give a quick disclaimer that this is all hypothetical and realistically these two would probably not make a console together, but this is just me having fun here, so bear with me. Also throughout the video, I'll be comparing the two current generational consoles such as the Nintendo Switch and the Microsoft's Xbox One lineup, so without further ado, let's talk about this. Before I get to the specifics, let's go over a brief history, shall we? Back in 2001, Microsoft noticed that 3D home gaming was becoming a thing, with Nintendo and Sony rivaling against each other for console dominance. Microsoft wanted to pitch in a console of their own to compete with the home gaming market. Prior to the beginning of the project of the first Xbox, Microsoft was mostly thinking about cooperation over competition at the time, which was why they had a chat with Nintendo's late CEO, Satoru Iwata. They proposed that Nintendo could work on the hardware while Microsoft focuses on software, such as the operating system and the network duties to the Windows company. It seemed like a nice proposal, but Nintendo gave them a big fat no. I think Nintendo just wanted to be a standalone company and do things on their own rather than relying on other companies. Then Microsoft made that same pitch with Sony, and then they ended up rejecting their offer too. Therefore, throughout the years of creating the Xbox lineup started off pretty rough, with the original Xbox hitting below average sales, then became the champion when the 360 came along, but with the Xbox One the sales have declined once again because of the potential Microsoft has in the gaming market, with them trying to work with Nintendo, which I mentioned earlier that they become close buds now, can redeem themselves from their demise and maybe have a fresh start. Now the first point I want to discuss is the hardware and design. So when you compare the two consoles' endurance, quality, and design and specs, the Xbox One is the one. I know that Nintendo is known for its uniqueness and not for its high-end graphics, but for only carrying Nvidia's latest Tegra chip. So I'm sorry guys, we're probably seeing Nintendo pushing Mario and Zelda in 4K in the year 2035. Not to mention Nintendo's low storage capacity in all of their previous consoles, even up to this point, which only has 32 GB. Not a lot, Nintendo. I know you could expand on that with a micro SD card, but still. On the other hand, in the time of this video, with the Xbox One X is considered to be the most powerful gaming console of all time. They got a custom 2.3 GHz 8-core CPU and 1.172 GHz of GPU with 6 teraflops, 12 GB of GDDR5 RAM, and 1 TB of internal storage. Not to mention a 4K Blu-ray player, which nobody uses nowadays. But this shows that Microsoft really knows how to manufacture their high-end hardware. So why can't this hardware be used on the Switch? Here's the way I see it. You know the gaming laptops Razer and Alienware are making that are compatible with an external GPU, and the connection they're using is Intel's Thunderbolt 3 to make them more powerful than they are by themselves. So yeah, what if the Nintendo Switch can do that? How about that Switch dock that does nothing but play as an HDMI connector with a fancy design for only $90? What if we could change that by having the USB-C connection from the Switch to support Thunderbolt 3 and have the dock play as the external GPU to push games to its full capacity? All Nintendo has to do is just make their dock wider, pop in one of those dedicated graphics cards that Microsoft is using for their systems, and poke some holes from the side for ventilation, and voila! You got yourself a portable powerhouse. But you may ask, wouldn't this just bring up the price tag for the Switch? Well, yeah, but unless Nintendo uses a cheap internal chip for the handheld, because boy oh boy, those latest Nvidia Tegra chips are expensive. But then you ask, what about performance for both handheld and dock? I wouldn't expect, since the dock is not that big and still considered to be portable on its own, to have the power of the Xbox One X. Maybe it could have the power of a standard Xbox and play games at 1080p. As for the handheld, the graphics may have to be downgraded to either 720p or 480p, but it's just to maintain that smooth frame rate, which gamers value the most. I know I do. It's almost like when you're trying to play a graphical game on your grandma's computer. You would have to turn down the graphics and resolution to get that buttery frame rate. Similarly, what has to be compromised in handheld mode to get the best console gaming portable experience possible. Now I would like to move on to my second point, which is software and design, for which I give Microsoft the extra credit here. Their home menu UI is just more welcoming, with plenty of things to do outside of gaming, which Nintendo lacks. Maybe besides the atrocious advertisements everywhere, but the other stuff like streaming apps such as Netflix, Hulu, and even actually using an internet browser. On the other hand, Nintendo has YouTube. That's it. Plus, their home menu UI is nice and simple, but it's still lackluster to its competition. I get Nintendo does this to save storage on their limited internal memory, but still waiting on those custom themes, you know? So that's why I think Microsoft and Nintendo were to make a console together, then I believe they should go according to Microsoft's UI and software design, because I think that they have it better than Nintendo. If you know the two consoles side by side, then you will know that the security measures on both of them are completely different, with the Xbox lineup being one of the most secure gaming consoles from hackers and viruses alike. On the other hand, Nintendo has a history for the lack of firmware security, since most of their consoles in the past and even the present have been easily hackable, with the Nintendo Switch considered to be the easiest to hack according to the hacking community. Due to this, piracy is like a breeze on the Switch and affects online play with cheaters and trolls alike. Yes, Nintendo has been banning those people from its online services, but the damage has already been done. When I talk about the history of Microsoft and Nintendo, Microsoft's proposal was to offer the software support, with security being a part of it. Now that might not be such a bad idea, nor will it be too late if the two companies actually merged and enhanced the security measures to get rid of those hackers and pirates. Now I would like to move on to my final point, which is sales and game exclusivity, and I think this is probably the most important part. So now, after all that praise I gave to the Xbox, now it's time to bring that thing down to shame. The Xbox One has been declining in sales in comparison to the Sony's PlayStation 4 and the Nintendo Switch, and for good reason. There's just not enough exclusives for the Xbox. Yes, you have those AAA third-party titles released on both the PS4 and Xbox One, and not even the Switch due to, you know, the Switch's graphical limitations. But nothing to make the Xbox stand out as the go-to console. Heck, I know I could play Red Dead Redemption 2 on both the PS4 and Xbox One, but can I play the new Spider-Man on the Xbox or God of War? No, I cannot. Neither on the Switch, of course, but what gets the Switch to sell more than the Xbox One is their games as well. More importantly, their first-party titles such as Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey. Nintendo is good at making their games, with their lineups always selling well and guaranteed to be critically acclaimed. If the two consoles can merge, then Microsoft could have that slice of pie and have some of those quality exclusives from Nintendo, as well as Microsoft providing those AAA third-party titles and, you know, even their own IPs such as Halo and the Gears of War franchises. If so, then I hope Master Chief and Marcus Phoenix for Smash Bros. Thank you so much, Nintendo. Therefore, I believe Nintendo and Microsoft should band together and make a console together, since they can make a lot of money in console sales and game sales and could be considered the biggest gaming phenomenon of all time. But like I said, this is all just my hypothesis. I apologize that this video may seem like all I'm doing is just comparing the Xbox and the Switch. I know I love both of those consoles, but you know, it would be better if those two were together. Though I would like to hear from you guys. Do you think Nintendo and Microsoft should make a console together or not? If so, what do you think that they could do to make the best console they can make? What are the other stuff I didn't mention in this video that could be included? Leave your thoughts down in the comments below and I'll keep in touch with all of you. Smashing the like button helps a lot, and maybe subscribe, because I'll probably start making more videos in the future. Anyway, thank you for listening to my rant, despite it being this my second YouTube video ever made. So anyways, take care guys.